Argonauts. We won the cup. We won the cup. We are victorious. We beat the Stamps. We beat the Stamps. Argonauts. We are the champs. We are the champs. We were victorious. We beat the Stamps. We beat the Stamps. It was so fabulous. A wonderful feed. A wonderful feed. It will be glorious. When we repeat. When we repeat. Oh my God, in case you can't already tell, I am beaming. I am beaming. I'm still beaming over this. It's been 3 days, but I'm still on cloud nine over Sunday night. The Argonauts are the Grey Cup champions. We defeated, in my opinion, the best team in the league, the Calgary Stampeders, 27-24. And it was a crazy nail-biting game. It was pretty much all Stamps for the most part. They either led or tied throughout almost all of the game. And with about a few minutes left, I think about a few minutes left, the Stamps were about to just close it out, get in the end zone, and really put things out of reach for the Argos. But all of a sudden, a fumble happens, and the Argos return it 109 yards all the way. And a two-point conversion ended up tying the game. So instead of a long 2.2 possession game, it was a tie game, 24-24. Stamps go 3-and-out. Argos had the ball after post 3-minute warning. And Ricky Ray led us to field goal range when Liram Halarahu kicked pretty much a chip shot, even by CFL standards, through the uprights. And with 49 seconds left, the Argos had the lead for the first time, but the Stamps had a shot. Had a shot to at least either tie it, force overtime for the second straight year, or win it. And the attempt at the end zone by Bogey by Mitchell was intercepted. That clinched it. The Argos won the Grey Cup for the 17th time in franchise history and for the first time since 2012. And in the Argos' first year under coach Mark Trestman, again, Bears fans owe that man an apology. See what happens when your quarterback actually acts. When you have a quarterback that actually acts right and actually throws the ball to your receivers instead of to the opposing secondary. That's what happens. That's a lesson, Chicago. But see that, and what a perfect end to the CFL season. A terrific Grey Cup game with a terrific musical guest in the former Shania Twain, an international icon. But we move on from that to the NFL. And on that same night, the Packers came within a literal hair of beating, in my opinion, the most dangerous team in the league, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers won with a last-second field goal, 31-28, and as a result of the win, the Steelers are still standing on top of the AFC, tied with the Patriots at 9-2, identical conference record 6-1, but it's the common games record that sets them apart. But the season ended. They played each other for the championship. The game being Pittsburgh. And speaking of that, it'll be New England and the Steelers in about 3 weeks on December 17th. And that game's in Pittsburgh, so the Patriots are screwed. And speaking of people who own the Patriots, Eli Manning. How could the Giants do this to him? It was announced that he was going to be benched for the rest of the season. Even worse, it's for Geno Smith. Now I get that the season is a wash. It's over for them. But for them to do this to a man that's won 2 Super Bowls for them and to bench him for Geno Smith, the one reason why this whole Kaepernick thing isn't racism, because there he is, the worst quarterback in the known universe, and he's going to be starting. You know, the guy Geno makes Jay Cutler look like Eli's brother, Peyton Manning. That's how bad he is. You know, it's ridiculous. And that is no way. It's sad that Eli's tenure with the Giants could possibly come to such a disrespectful end. You know, but it's sickening. And staying and staying in the league. What is wrong with Kansas City? They lost yet again. They fell to the Buffalo Bills at home. Uh, and the worst part about that is that the Chargers, they keep winning. They keep winning. So so as a result, it's a one-game difference between those two. It's basically a two-team race now because the Chargers, since starting 0-4, have won 5 out of their last 7. The Chiefs, since starting 5-0, have only won one game in the last 6. You know, it's terrible. The Chiefs are in danger of joining some unfriendly territory. They could end up doing what the Vikings have done twice, and what the Giants and the Broncos did in the same season: start 5-0 and miss the playoffs. That is bad, bad company. And I mentioned the Broncos that year. They started 6-0 and missed the playoffs. I think they're the only team to do it. I could be wrong. Look into that later. But but and the Chargers, you know, they could end up making some spectacular history here. They could be the only team to come back from 0-4 twice and make the playoffs. They were the last team to do it. The old San Diego Chargers started 0-4. I think this was in 1992, I believe. They started 0-4 and ended up winning the AFC West. They could do it again. They have a shot. Now, they play each other again uh, sometime in December. Kansas City won the first meeting. If the Chargers win that next meeting, that could change the whole game. That could. Because other tiebreakers could determine what will happen with these teams. And I'm speaking on the AFC, like the NFC, the Eagles. Oh my goodness, the Eagles. They really are for real, aren't they? 10-1. They are 10-1, and it is insane. It is absolutely insane how they're doing it. And of course, the top four, the four division leaders of the NFC: the Eagles, the Vikings, the Rams, and the Saints. The Rams beat the Saints. They ended the Saints' 8-game winning streak. So the Rams, and more importantly, the Rams have a head-to-head tiebreaker. And who knows? That game could decide a first-round bye, or maybe home field. That is, if they're alive for it. Something tells me Philadelphia's going to run away with that top spot in the NFC. But regarding, but it's going to be an interesting race for a first-round bye because you have the Vikings, the Rams, and the Saints. The Vikings beat the Rams, but the Rams beat the Saints. And so that's going to be the Vikings beat the Rams beat the Saints, and the Saints beat the Vikings. So it's going to be very, very interesting where the chips will fall as December is nigh. And of course, the poor Browns are 0-11. But interestingly enough, that's who the Chargers play next. Why is that interesting? The Browns' one victory last season was against the Chargers. It was in Cleveland. Um, this year's game is out here. Now, the Chargers are possibly on the verge of being the first team to start 0-4 and make the playoffs twice. However, they could also be on the verge of some terrible history. If they lose to the Browns again, and the Browns don't win another game, it'll be 2 years straight that the Chargers have served as the Browns' one victory. Now that is going to be catastrophic. But that's what the Chargers could be facing. I'm not saying Cleveland's going to beat them, but it's possible. They beat them last year. The Packers we're barely there. We're now 5-6. We were 5-6 last year, and they're running the table. But we had Rodgers. We don't have that, at least at the moment. But and Rodgers was throwing passes in Pittsburgh, so that door is open for some reason. But we have to win our next 2 games. We're at home against Tampa this week. That should be winnable. Should be. But just because it should be doesn't mean it will be. So who knows? The week 12, week 13. Week 13 starts in Jerry World. The Cowboys will play their second straight Thursday game to play against Washington. They need to get it together too. Um, Vikings and Falcons play each other on Sunday. That's a big game. Kansas City plays Jets. Their second trip to MetLife Stadium in 3 weeks. And the Rams, Red Hot Rams, are in Arizona. The Sunday night game is Philly and Seattle. Philly, I think Philly could clinch a playoff spot this week. I think actually not just a playoff spot. I think they could win the NFC East. They got to. I think if they win, yeah, I think all they have to do is win. All they have to do is win. Or Dallas and I don't know what the standings are. I know Dallas is 5-6. I know Dallas is 5-6. Washington's 5-6. So I think, but they play each other. But they play each other. So if that game somehow ends in a tie, if that head-to-head game on Thursday somehow ends in a tie, then Philly will win the division before they even take the field on Sunday. If not, Philly will have to win. But Philly should clinch at least a playoff spot this week. And so that's my review of the Grey Cup and Week 13. The Grey Cup was amazing. What an end to the season. Week 12 was great. It was Week 12 review. I'm sorry. It's the Grey Cup review and the Week 12 review. I will review Week 13 next week, of course. So December's almost here, so enjoy the playoff race.